Hi all, this is me, Yah'Mein. I would like to give thanks to my Father above, below, and in the sea. Yeah. And to thy heavenly brother, who is the King Yeshua. So, today's April 7th, 2018, and I'm doing part two to my last video, which is the barn, the gathering. And I last left off mentioning Hosea chapter 14 verse 3, in which it says Asher will not save us, nor will he ride upon horses. So I also stated in a video previous, did Jesus ever say that he was coming back to save anyone? No. Anyway, so I'm gonna pick up where I left off. I was in the book of Joel. Was I? Yes, I was. And I last left off at 15, Joel 3:16. And I'm coming to say, the Lord also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. And I'm going to break down every line. I like to do that instead of just reading. And if anybody was watching worldwide, you saw how in Africa the earth, the ground split into two. So that's how it is going to be like the kingdom. It's going to be a split into two. It's going to be like that on the earth, splitting of two, just like it was in Egypt. That's how you had your Old Testaments and your New Testaments, because the old laws was do away with and this new kingdom came about. One city came on the scene. Anyway, so there was a falling away, a splitting and a dividing, which is going to occur. And that's going to cause the earth to shake. Right now, people are not realizing what goes on above also goes below. So if it's a shaking on the earth, that means down in the core, in the seas, there's a shaking. Up above in the heavenly realms, there will be a shaking. And that's going to be this uproar and this mix-up, which the Illuminati is stating, your Dusty Rothschilds, about how there must be a great earth catastrophe, because they know what's coming to the earth. Not only is the promise of war, but also a shaking of the earth. And that promise of the war and the shaking of the earth is going to make a lot of us vulnerable on the earth. Those who are not spiritually fed and spiritually awakened and spiritually aware will fall by the wayside. Like in Matthew, some who had ears to hear, heard it. Those who had ears to hear didn't hear it. Some were obedient, so some fell by the wayside, got dried up. Just like how we are. You have some children and some of them listen, they fall, and then the ones that listen, they make it pretty well on the earth. So just like you. And I notice I'm always discussing the father, Asher, and I never really discussed the energy of also thy mother, who is Asherah. And people will be like, oh my gosh, those are demons. But, they were in the book before the people of the book who slaughtered your people, and all the rest of the house of Egypt. They were written in the book first. So no, the whole book of Jeremiah too, actually discuss, and Zechariah discuss the killing and the slaughtering and her tree, the cutting down with the axes of Asherah. So I've noticed, the world wants to create this energy of whatever is black or is attached to black history or our black foundations from old is, given this demonic connotations, and then we want to group them in with Mary. Well, they replaced her and gave you Mary. So, no. Asherah, okay? So these are husband and wife who said, let us make not only them too, but they were there, the creator from the beginning of that foundation, where you get your crescent moon. Anyway, so back to the story, the barn, because her seeds will be gathered. You understand? His seeds shall be gathered and placed into a bond of safety, versus those who are of the tears and who are not rooted in the soil will be put into fire. That means you're gonna, when the shaking comes in the earth, you're gonna be left here to deal with the shaking and the wicked ones who will take power and authority over those who are left behind. So I don't think you want to be a part of that. And I was stating, with the Illuminati, there's so many artists who discuss this New World Order, from the beginning of time. The infiltration of music, discuss that there's going to be a takeover only when there's a vulnerability on the earth. And that time is coming. War is going to come. I even had a dream how it was a cloudy day in America, and I've seen hundreds of drones fly over our heads to give a signal to America, letting them know that you are touchable. Anyway, so don't think that a shaking cannot occur. And so shall ye know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then shall Jerusalem be holy, and there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. And her, as I said, that heavenly mother, because the earth, the queen of the heavens and the queen of the earth, one person, which is to come out of that same story, the New Jerusalem, which was promised in Revelations. And it also goes into the story of Revelations 12, the mother who her son was slaughtered. A lot of people was talking about, oh my gosh, Revelations 12 happened in September. That shit was bullshit. I learned too, as the kingdoms were divided, you have two type of churches. You have the Ku Klux Klan and their Jesus story, and then you have the black churches with their Jesus story. You got one Jesus and two different people worshiping a force, both full of shit. I'm just gonna let you know, both lies. And under force supremacist way of bringing us so-called doctrines, one to justify beating you and the other one to justify you getting your ass beat. So I don't come under that doctrine, even though I know that the tool of that book is for those who have eyes to see. So I take and break down the words that was rightfully written and carved into stone. So that's what I'm doing. So back to 17. So you're his holy children, her holy seeds, who are here on the earth, and the mighty that were weak shall become strong. And these times, like I said before, there will be a pouring out of the Spirit, right? And that is a pouring out of a magnanimous magnetic pulse. And you have, as I said, two dividing kingdoms, one that is of darkness and one that is of light. And the forces of darkness are going to go up against the kingdom of light, which was before you even were brought here on the earth. Remember, it says that the seas were divided. The seas was in the earth, and it was divided into darkness and one into light. So just like the darkness have its kingdom and its children and its hosts, so does light, and they're both living amongst each other. They both look alike, act alike, and you don't really know who's who. Anyway, so that's what's going on here. That separation from when the beginning, when it was in Matthew's, the seeds that were growing together, and God told his Anunnakis, his workers, should be, sprout them up. And he said, no, not yet. We don't want to pick up the wrong one. So let them grow amongst each other. So now we're coming into the time where the harvest is ripe. So now you have to divide the good and the bad, It's the story of old. It's like the Beauty and the Beast story, It's all us, our story, our truths coming to fruition, because we are living in a magical kingdom. Everything is, ruled by magic to either deceive your eyes or to open your eyes. It all depends on the mind. In my first video, I stated, and the birth of consciousness is, you really wake yourself up by listening to your own self. You understand? And by not ignoring and negating what the spirit is telling you. And that's how you become enlightened, because it comes from the inner you. You understand? Like your energy. You lift that up. Some people put on clothes to uplift their energy, and some people use the mind to vibrate on a different energetic level. And with the clothes, you know, makes a better you. But anyway, back to the story. So, and it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop down new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and fountains shall come forth out of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valley of Shittim. You know, so once the old is washed away, just like in Noah, which I said is a woman. If you noticed, they brought down the women. You understand? They beat up the men, but they had to break down the women. And if you ever notice, look at how the earth is run. You know, in all presidencies, they always have this black queen in that house. You understand? Because they can't do shit without that power of that black woman. So for all you men out there who hate on us, it's crazy how I don't condone that, you know, swirling, but whatever. They need us because we the ones who brought them at their asses in space. We the one who brings all things great into fruition on the earth. So the slave master know to keep the black woman around. He wasn't dumb enough not to do that. Even though, you know, the black man began to not see any value of her, or like that, you know, that Samson and Delilah story. He used his woman to subdue you, you know, and while he's using his woman to distract you from yours, he's using your woman to help build up his kingdom. You understand? So there's a problem going on, and no one is really paying attention. You understand? So, you know, her mind is connected to the heavenly realm, you know. And while the man builds up the kingdom, she creates, you know. Anyway. So we're going into that time after the washing away. Remember, it says in prophecy that the fulfillment of the Gentiles must be fulfilled. So their story has to come to an end first before yours come into fruition. So they have not yet ended their prophecy of destruction and destroying what was given to them. So we're just waiting on standby, you know, while it is stated that some will die out. If you saw the movie Gods of Egypt, remember in the end, you know, they were slaughtered, they were killed, but in the end they came back. You know, just like you come back. So there's going to be an ending to their kingdom and a renewing of yours. So, and then, you know, you were all promised a new body on those mountains. If you go read the book of Jeremiah too, it mentions about the mountains. What's on those mountains? And if you saw Erykah Badu video where you saw her on top of the mountain and she took a dip in that water and she came out as a new person, that's going to be glistening. Anyway, so these are promises that were made unto man. A lot of people don't like to believe in the Bible. It's cool to study yourself, not study others or let others lead you to study. Study yourself so that you may know the truth, okay? So don't let somebody lead you astray. You know, you lead yourself. Because there's some jewels in many books. But they all one story, so that's how I feel about that. You can't say the Torah is better than the Bible and the Quran because, I mean, they're all stolen damn stories. So you have a preference, that's about it. But all one story. So Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah because they have shed innocent blood in their land. That will be this new Egypt because, you know, for centuries, these folks been pretending to be us. You know, that's called a mental problem. I mean, if you really look at these people, I am not afraid to say this shit. They're crazy. Understand that they are master-minded psychological nuts. Literally, you pretend to be someone you're not, and they're defined in it. They will fight you and call you nuts for calling them, hoarders in the land that's not theirs. They were the Lulus. If you know the story of Hinersag and her creating these beings with her brother, her half-brother, you know, they were creating beings before they even entered into the earthly realm. And they were going back and forth to check on their creation or whatever. You know, that Inky and Lil, one of them didn't want to really deal with the earth anyway because he got mad. So he came and started tampering with the genetics of the other beings on the earth. Remember, if you listen to the white man tell the story, you know, it was us who was the slaves on the earth. But that's not how it all went down. Another story, another day. But now that we are in this earthly realm, we're living under the false rules of darkness, and they're under those principalities that ruled in slaughter, who ruled under the demise, and they stole and broke down everything we had. They changed our signs and ensigns and made it look like there's like those logos I was telling you about, the Bentley cars, and all that is your shit. You know, the Tesla, you know, everything that they doing is stole out of your kingdom, out of your houses, out of your synagogues, out of your temples, while they, you know, were breaking down, they were changing the faces or whatever. So, you know, there's going to come to an end. Like it says, there's going to be a restoring of the house, and the money that they have gathered up for themselves and the wealth will be given back unto you. So we're going into those days. It is promised, and this is a divine source, because there's a spiritual force that will come into the earth. That's why I said DARPA ain't just preparing for war for nothing, because they know there is other beings, other planetary realms that are all going to gather. And I tell everybody, all planets are as beings, just like Earth is as a living being. Okay, it has the ability to produce, it has the ability to destroy, just like other realms. So what's going on in this earthly realm also goes on in other the cosmos. You may call it the heavens, but there are other planets in the cosmos. So this is coming to an end. But Judah shall dwell forever in Jerusalem from generation to generation. So we were promised everlasting life. As I said, Erykah Badu took that dip in that water, and she came back, you know, glistening or whatever, in those mountains. A lot of people don't know about those mountains and those rescue places and that are on the earth for those who are chosen, who will go in there into shelter, into hiding. There's a divine plan that was already planned. Remember those books, all that, and who we are was already prophesied. Just like your father told Abraham, you know, darkness is going to come to the kingdom because of what you did. And those seeds that you put before your own seeds, they're going to put your seeds that come out of your loins into bondage. So everybody like, oh my God, why would God not let this happen? Well, remember, we are in the age of their darkness and their power. It was given to them first, that they were promised the fat and the dew of the earth first. So everything that's going on is because it was divinely made to be this way. But it was also stated that the dead will rise back again. So nothing is lost. It's a temporary loss. So for I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. So he's going to restore all things back. So if you, like for myself, I always say about my son, I know there's going to be a returning of him also. I'll never forget the last week that he and I were talking, because our relationship is one weird relationship. Like, we could argue like cats and dogs, but even though we argue, we know we ain't disconnected. So his last words were like, Mom, besides him telling me none of his friends are human and that they all eat bodies, which is the gang, which are also connected to the police because they're all one force, he stated that, do you know who I am, Mommy? Do you know who I am? And I'll never forget what he said. He said, you know that you're connected to God, and so am I. And he said, I'm going to be the sacrificial lamb. And I'll never forget that. And I always wondered, what did this boy mean? Until you start understanding what the Pfizer report is, and all this spirit cooking parties and all these emails going on with Hillary Clinton, and why it's hidden in Facebook being, you know, the telling of Facebook monitoring who we are. All this is going to come out, and the truth shall prevail. With justice, in the end, I will feel liberated, knowing that my son, so-called slaughter, was not in vain, because the truth is going to come. And I pray that for all the mothers on the earth, you paying attention. The news will sell you anything. They're all under one corporation. But our boys, our men, our sons, they are not dying. Understand? Some of them are food, yes, but for the majority, they are using them for their secret military, because there's a threat coming to the earth, and they're going to use your children to fight against those who are coming into the earth to rescue the seeds here. Remember, you watch these shows called Star Wars, Clone Wars. Understand, these are your stolen stories, okay? All of your truths that you are not aware of. You know, because it was written that we will live in a time where who you were will be celebrated in cartoons as a cartoon and as entertainment, and you be so deep in sleep and not realize who you are. You know, until now we understand about this X-Men is you, your blood or whatever, your chromosome. But here we are now into this time of the barn and the gathering. Because if you saw the Logan and his daughter, you know, and he died, but his daughter was left, and they had to go gather in the barn, and they were looking for this shelter, just like underground. You understand? So it was she who helped lead her friends into this barn, to the gathering. Pay attention to these stories, because it's about you, ex women and men. They know what's going on in the world, in this kingdom of paradise that is now hell. It's turned into a den of heathens. This was written already. It was prophesied already. It was already foretold before these clones were created. And I never wanted to really understand so much what my son was trying to tell me until after his death. I'm starting to put it two together. He's like, Mommy, they're not human. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? They're not human. So they have the ability, if you start listening to some of these rappers' songs, they were telling you one by one, they will replace. They will replace. And that's something that I noticed. Long story. I'm not even going to tell this part. Keep it to myself for court. But they are replacing, I hear other videos too of them telling you that they're replacing children in homes, in prisons. They're replacing people left and right. These artists, these preachers, these so-called activists, they're replaced people. So we're living in an artificial reality already, because who you think are humans are not. And then somebody asked me, can clones produce? Well, aren't you able to produce for somebody else? Because you was made in the image and the likeness of somebody, of other beings too. So, you know, genes and geneticism plays a major role on this earth. That's why there's poles put up all over the earth. That's why they are tampering with the weather, because the having poles and the weather manipulation is what keeps these artificial intelligences running and living and breathing on the earth. Look at Kanye famous video. He was showing you even Trump was a clone. Cosby was a clone. So how can Cosby be brought to justice? He ain't even human. Anyway, so, you know, even like Kanye said, like, he ain't Kanye. They made up Kanye. Like, we're living in an artificial world where this world is told you don't conform to it. Number one, because there are beings or things in this world that's put here just to tempt you, because you were given the rules and regulations before you got here, before you started breathing. Even in the mind, if your parents never told you, your subconscious already know what's right and wrong. And when you go against those laws, there's things already here to partake in your feast of demising you anyway. So when those things come about, we're led to the slaughter like sheep. Or you fall by the wayside. And the falling by the wayside is you could lose your mind here, manipulated easily here. This room is not what you think it is. It's not. It's really not. People can be next to you and not even be human. You have no idea. And then you wonder why. Anytime somebody gets shot, they keep calling Al Sharpton. Like, really? Come on, you keep calling the same lawyers. Really? Come on. And also, pay attention to the skies, my people, because there's helicopters already in the sky watching us. They're watching and watching and watching. They're monitoring our coming and our goings. So when they do come, you're not going to see it coming because they know you don't pay attention. Keep your head to the sky. Lift your eyes and look up. Look up and pay attention to what's above you, not what's in front of you. Especially you men, you like looking at ass like you never seen ass before when it's walking by. But look up, because you could be walking and get shot right in the fucking neck and not even know and pass the fuck out. Whatever. Long story. But there's a gathering for those who was already written. You know, those who are already doing the will of the Father. Nothing is new here that wasn't already done, except this time it's even worse because you got devices that are used to help, just like in the book of Job, devices were used to help control factions and factions of this world that you're not privy to. And those who see things, they see it and they're made to look crazy or made to look insane, when in reality, no, you're the crazy one for not being able to notice that even those who are these news art anchors, they're not human. They're not human. And Google controls everything you do. You can order pizza online, and next thing you know, you see TV advertisements of pizza. They're monitoring everything you do. You could be taking a shower and put on some lotion. Next thing you know, you see, and you got, your tablet in the bathroom. Next thing you know, you see the same lotion on a commercial. Like, what the fuck? Because they're watching you. Everything to your breathing patterns. They know it all. Anyway, this is the realm that we're living in. And they have satellites all over. And I was putting up with HES, IES, all these different satellite systems in the sky, even on the earth, so that you're monitored. Your coming and goings is monitored. People don't want to talk about that. And then people want to sell knowledge. I have a problem with people who sell knowledge. Like, seriously? So you ain't going to tell me shit unless I give you $5. Really? So that tells me you're not in the best interest of my safety or my well-being, okay? So be wary of those who selling shit, okay? Because then it's bullshit at that point, because they're about that dollar. Anyway, this is me bringing the barn, my part 2 of that gathering. Be of the gathering of the light, because there's darkness, and the kingdom of darkness was revealed. And everybody talk about, oh my God, magic. You are already magic. You have the power within you to shut shit down if you know yourself. You understand? You could command spirits to shut shit down if you know yourself. So you don't gotta go pray to no statue and go feed nothing, because it's already tell you these beings are already here to tempt you. You got to keep feeding something to give you something. It doesn't make sense. You understand? So that's how I feel about voodoo and all that other stuff. Voodoo, fuyu, whatever. I call it something different because I'm already a magical being. I already know the process of my mind versus my spirit, that I don't have to pray to anything to get any wisdom, because it'll come to me. And it comes to me swift, like I was able to pick up on my son. My foresight already seen it coming. So I was already swift and on God. No one could tell me nothing, because my spirit already was like, boop, boop, boop. And my spirit I'm in tune with myself. So I know you can't lie to me. Okay? You can't tell me anything. I can hear very well, even when your mouth is closed. That's how good it is in my realm. So you got to ask yourself, what halo are you wearing, and what rooms are you playing in? Darkness or of light? Because the light comes with its own spirit. Anyway, that's another story. Be of the barn that is of light. Okay? You don't want to be a part of that Leviathan kingdom. In the darkness of the waters of those Gregorians will create beings in the sea creatures, the clones from the sea darkness. That's another story too. That's how they start creating these artificial beings, dealing with that quantum physics to use your mind and your voice as an activation to another vessel that's not even human. But I mean, if you go and you learn about Osiris and all of them, they were already duplicating beings. So this is nothing new. They're just learning your science and your magic when it comes to cloning and having the ability to be at more than one place at one time. It's not new, it's just they're learning to your art. They've learned the art of who you are and your nature, and how to go about in the earth and manipulate things that you're not privy to understand, because you're still in sleep. So, sleeping is, ending. But then it also says in the book that those who are asleep will stay asleep. So you can't argue with the sleepers. They're not going to wake up. So you go amongst yourselves, amongst those who are like-minded like you, who have the ability to hear and see just like you. And then you continue to grow and prepare. So I have another scripture, which I'm going to read. And this one is in Proverbs. It says, a prudent man, Proverbs 22:3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself. But the simple pass on and are punished. Like this new slave ship. You get caught up because you didn't want to listen. So you're going to fall into this torment that's coming. And then also Proverbs 30:25. It says, the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So, keyword, the ants are a people. Come on. They're not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So, you get knowledge, you know it. Don't sleep on it and find your knowledge no use, because it's useful before the season even come. So when it's time for the season of pain and drought, you already prepared. Your meat is already put away, seasoned and everything, waiting for you to come and enjoy its fruit. Just like I stated last video, you know, that barn is already prepared. They got all the food and everything, all the wine is already prepared because it's know what's coming. All right. So prepare your mind, understand, and to know that it says, you know, people like, oh my God, we gotta, you know, stock our houses with food or whatever like that. But what if you out grocery shopping and the temptations of this earth fall upon you? You gonna run back to your home? No, you might have to flee from safety, but know that you're gonna flee into somewhere that is divinely set for you. So all that food you bought, you may not even eat it. I don't know. Start thinking, people. Start thinking. And who are the reapers on the earth that's gonna gather you? Who are the reapers? Where do these reapers come from? Come on now. Think. Who are the reapers? I'm gonna save that one for another video. The reapers. Those reapers. And then give you some pictures of these beings, these high beings. They're on the earth, somewhere hidden on the earth. Even tell you that they got beings hidden. Anyway, I'm gonna end on my video to tell people I already cried already. You understand? Not only for myself, I cry for those who are not aware. I cry for those who too are aware and feel like they're hopeless. I cry for those children who have to suffer and their parents are not awake and they're alone and feel they have no one. I cry for them. You understand? Because the powers that be are even going to grab children out of their homes, and their children and their parents or their other siblings will be left. That's going to happen. You know, those crying, weeping children, they will be taken and some will be left. But those days are coming. The times are coming. Be mindful. Anyway, I'd like to again thank my father Yah for being known to making himself known to his seeds and making his face known to his seeds, because you know your God because you see his face. My children even seen the face of God. When they tell me what he looked like, I was shocked, like, oh my goodness, you guys are on point. Mwah! Love it. You understand? So, you know, even talk to your children, because they were given keys and jewels to wake you up. All right, parents who think they know everything, but your children, your seeds, are given even dreams and have knowledge that can wake you up or help in the process of waking you up. So, you know, listen to your children. Listen to your seeds, okay? They were given to you for a reason. My son, since he was 3, was giving me knowledge. And I was like, God damn, boy, how you know this? 3 years old, waking me up, keeping me at mommy woke. That's how your children are. So don't abuse them. Don't use them. And